Hello, we will work on our last two examples for the subject, order of operations, and evaluating expressions. So now we have this expression, but we not only have numbers but also variables. However, we know the values that these variables represent, so before doing anything, we can just substitute the variables with their respective values. What do I mean by substitute? Well, substituting means that you replace, for example, the x with the 8. So 8 squared minus 2 times 5, which is equal to z, times 3, which is equal to y, plus 3 to the third. And now we just evaluate like any other expression in any of the past videos. So we have Pemdas, and we do have a parenthesis. So first we must evaluate whatever is inside the parenthesis. As you might recall, I mentioned before that you can do a Pemdas again, but now just regarding whatever is inside the parenthesis. So we do not have a parenthesis inside the parenthesis, so that one is done. We do have exponents, so we have 8 squared. So 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is equal to 64. So we have 64 minus 2 times 5 times 3. This is just whatever is inside the parenthesis. Now, do we have multiplication or division? We do have multiplication, and working from left to right, we find that first we need to multiply 2 times 5, which is equal to 10. And then 10 times 3, which is equal to 30. So 64 minus 30. We're done with multiplication or division. And now, do we have addition or subtraction? We do. We have subtraction in this case, going from left to right. We only have one operation, so that's gonna be easy, and 64 minus 30 is equal to 34. However, remember that this is only the value inside the parentheses. So now, instead of having this whole thing inside the parentheses, we can replace this with a 34. So we have 34 plus 3 cubed, which is whatever was outside the parentheses. So as you might recall, we have Pemdas. We did the parentheses, so that one is done. Now exponents, we do have exponents right here. From a previous video, you can see that 3 to the third is equal to 27. So we do not have any more exponents. We do not have multiplication or division. We do have addition or subtraction. In this case, we have addition. So 34 plus 27 is equal to 61. And this is our answer. Next, we have a word problem. So we have Jamie has $500 to invest for 3 years. She finds a bank that will invest her money at a simple interest rate of 5%. Interest I is equal. So here, seeing that we have equal and that we have here the keyword times or the product and things like that, we know that they are telling us what the equation is. So we have I is equal to the principal P times, well, it can be mistaken as an x, so I put it like that, times the product. So it's times and then the product. So let's put in parentheses the product of what? Of the rate R as a decimal and the time in years. Oh, I did it again, I'm sorry. So we can just see this in part. So the product of the rate as a decimal and the time t in years. So we know we must multiply both of them, and then we know that we must multiply this thing times p. So this is the expression we get from the problem. Now we just plug in, so we have that p is equal to 500, which is amount invested, amount of dollars invested, which right here they tell you is 500. We know that she invests for 3 years and the time t is in years, so t is equal to 3. And the simple interest rate is 5%. However, they tell you that the rate are as a decimal, so 5% is equal to 0.05. Very well, now we just plug in like in the last problem. So I is equal to 500 times 0.05 times 3. And using Pemdas again, we find that we do have parentheses right here, so we must evaluate whatever is inside it first. We only have one operation, so it's easier just to evaluate that since there's only one operation. Then here we have a multiplication. Either way, if we didn't have multiplication, if we only had the parentheses, we knew that we must multiply these two. Then times 500, which is equal to 75. So this is our answer.